Hey, welcome to The Fix. I'm Tucker.
And I'm Travis.
And we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to start in the studio. We wanted to do an episode about fixing our lawns.
Yeah.
I don't want to go crazy. Like, we both have full-time jobs. We're not, like, retired where we can spend, days and days of the week on this. But we wanted to at least learn something that we could help everybody learn, that we could do a little bit more on our lawns to make them just a little bit nicer.
Right.
So we thought we would go to one of our experts, one of North 40's experts, and we're going to have a chat with Maria from our Lewiston store in Lewiston, Idaho. So,
sounds good.
All right, let's get into it.
I want to introduce Maria Garvey. She is a lawn and garden expert in our Lewiston, Idaho store. And how's it going, Maria?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad.
Good. Thanks for being with us.
No problem. My pleasure.
So, Maria, could you tell us a little bit about like how you know about lawn and garden and like just some of your experience and stuff like that?
Well, I've been a master gardener here in Nez Perce County for 13 years now. I love growing things. I'm also a beekeeper. And I've always, well, not always, but for the last 20 or so years worked in the industry.
And how does one go about becoming a master gardener?
What is a master gardener?
A master gardener is a volunteer. We are university trained. You have to complete a certain number of study hours and a certain number of volunteer hours a year. And that's how you become a master gardener and how you stay a master gardener. We're volunteers and our job is to teach the community.
Nice.
So you're the perfect person to help us learn and do better with our gardens and whatnot. So perfect.
I sent her a video of my lawn, which doesn't be similar to your lawn, and we'll show that a little bit. But you can see kind of what we're dealing with, and I think like we've just gotten to the point, both of us, where we'd like to do something with our lawn. I know that it's probably going to be a long-term thing. It's not like we do something and then by the fall it's great and it's perfect. This may be a multi-step process, but we at least wanted to get started. So, like as you can see from the video, a lot of dandelions, a lot of different types of grass, like we talked about, clover. Yep. So where do we start?
You have to be honest with yourself and look and think in terms of how much of it is weeds. If it's 50% or more weeds, you're better off killing it and start it from scratch. It's a little scary, but you're going to spend less money in the long run if you just kill everything, start brand new with fresh soil and the seed that you choose to have. Then you're going to take care of it. And then by next year, you're going to have a lawn that's the envy of your neighborhood.
One, if we kill it, and two, if it's less than 50% and we want to take care of it. So if we were to just wipe it out and start fresh, how would we actually do that? Are we just talking about spraying Roundup on the entire lawn?
You're talking about mowing it as low as your mower goes to scalp it.
Okay.
Then you would spray Roundup and you would have to wait, 8-10 days. Then you would rent a rototiller if you don't have one and rototill about 6 inches.
Okay.
Then you would round up again because you're going to get weed seeds up. Yeah. That's just the way it is. And then after you kill it twice, you would add compost amendments to help that soil and to help the water retention because watering is a huge deal to us.
Yep.
And then you would plant it. And then the most important thing, once you're committed and you have the beautiful lawn, you have to stay on top of it. Weeds are always going to be there, but you're going to have to want to keep it as healthy as you can so less weeds grow. And when you do find weeds, you deal with them straight away so they don't spread. The healthier your lawn is, the thicker it is, the less competition for the weeds.
If we were to wipe it out and start fresh, you talked about a couple different kinds of grass that we could plant. Give us a couple examples of what types of grass we could be planting.
In my opinion, you want to plant a mixed seed. You don't want to You could use, say, Kentucky bluegrass, which is a cool weather grass that's absolutely beautiful. When you're thinking of Gulf green, that's Kentucky blue, that beautiful dark green, soft, gorgeous grass. But you might want to add like some fescue, and you might want to add some ryegrass. Both the fescue and the rye are bunching. They may not look as pretty, but they're tougher. So that's the idea of a mix.
Okay.
You mix all three cool weather grasses. Some do better in shade, some do better in full sun. So if you don't have like a full sun, um, Kentucky blue is really good in sun. But if you have a tree and there's shade around it, that area would eventually become bare if you don't put something other than Kentucky blue. So that's why the blends are the best choice.
So let's talk about the second option. We don't want to kill the whole lawn. It's not worth killing it all off. What are some of the steps we can take to revive the lawn and bring it back to something that's really nice when we have enough weeds that it's a problem to deal with?
So if you have, especially if they're annual weeds, get a weed and feed. Like I said, that 4-step system where you use a weed and feed, a regular fertilizer, maybe something like ironite in the summer where you're kind of afraid of fertilizing because you could burn it. And then the fall fertilizer, it will help keep the weeds down. The weed and feed, of course, kills the broadleaf weeds. At that point where you said you had a lot of dandelions, the dandelions are going to die. So once they die, you overseed in those areas, wait 8 weeks, fertilize with just a straight up fertilizer. Summertime is kind of scary. I know I don't like to fertilize really anywhere past the 4th of July.
Okay.
But say you have a barbecue or a wedding or something in your backyard, that ironite is going to get it nice, beautiful, green. Is kind of like an energy drink for your lawn.
Okay.
And then super important in the fall, if you still have weeds, do a weed and feed again and do that winter fertilizer, that fall fertilizer.
Okay.
That, if I had to pick one out of the whole year that I wouldn't miss, that's the fall fertilizer.
Let me just recap the 4-step process. So
Mhm.
that would be a weed and feed earlier, like
In the spring,
which would be about now, right?
even earlier.
So that's gonna kill off a lot of the weeds like dandelions.
Yes.
And then we would fertilize sometime before the 4th of July where it gets really, really hot.
Yeah, in
Because
June.
otherwise we'll burn everything.
Probably, possibly.
And then step 3,
Ironite, if you need it.
okay. And then step 4 would be the fall, like
Fall
the final
fertilizer.
thing we do, like a fall fertilizer and a weed and feed again if we still have weeds.
If you still have weeds, do a weed and feed at the end of August, beginning of September, when it starts cooling down a little.
Yep.
And then the fall fertilizer, I guess it'd be different here because it's a little warmer, but
Yep.
we can almost wait until the end of October.
And the other key thing that Maria said was when we kill that stuff, you got to overseed it. So we're gonna
Oh, yeah.
kill a bunch of dandelions. We want to put some grass seed down on top.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
you just want to, I wouldn't say suffocate, but you want to make it so
Yeah.
that the weed has no room to come through.
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
You want to use up every space you can to put what you want in there because the weed seeds will take advantage of that bare spot.
Okay.
You're watering, you're fertilizing, they're going to love it.
Okay.
So don't give them space.
How do we mow it short right now? Do we mow it long? Do we progress as we go through the season? How do we mow best?
Actually, most grasses want to be cut between 2 and 3 inches.
Okay.
I know that seems like a lot for a lot of people that like that beautiful short lawn, but they're going to stay healthier and grow better if you cut them at about 3, especially when it gets hot. Never cut more than 1/3 at once. So if you really let it go and you got it, starting to tickle your knees,
Yeah.
you're going to have to bring it down and bring it down and bring it down. You can't just bring it down all at once.
I would guess that stresses out the grass.
Yes, super important that you keep up your mower blade very sharp so you don't break it. You want to cut it, not break it. In the wintertime, that last mowing, make it a little shorter maybe the 2 inches, because that lessens the chance of disease happening during winter.
And what about thatching?
Thatching is part of the grass that dies, stems, stuff. It becomes a sponge, literally. You could very well have an inch of this substance that keeps the water from moving down and the nutrients from moving down. So you want to lift that up. And if you're ambitious, you can take a rake and give it a good raking, and that would work. Or you can use a specialized blade in your mower that will do the same.
I think we have some stuff to do.
Some definite
Once
in the
a
lawn research.
year,
We gotta
once a
really
year
look at.
thatching. You can do it in the fall. You can do it in the spring. You might want to aerate as well. I don't know if you've ever done it. You might want to do it every 3 years. It's not a yearly thing.
Okay.
You have
Good
to
to know.
rent a machine, or again, it depends how ambitious you are. They are manual that you step on and get the cores out. But if you have a big yard, that's a chore. Every university has an extension program, and master gardeners belong to that. Like 4-H is part of extension as well.
And we can reach out to them in our local place to find out if there's anything.
In your local,
You're in Idaho, we're in Montana.
right? In your
Similar.
local, in your county, you can call your county extension office, see if they have a master gardener program, and if they do, they'll probably have a plant clinic, and that's where you would take your piece of lawn with,
Yeah.
say, hey, what are these weeds? How do I kill them?
Okay.
How do I have thatch? How do I fix it? They're there to do that for you for free. So it's a resource.
Guess we
That
got
is
something to go do now, huh?
Yeah,
great.
me too.
Master gardeners are more than glad to always lend a hand.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for chatting with us. This has been awesome, and we're gonna find a way to make our lawns look better this year.
I'm excited.
And that's super.
I'm
great.
totally confident you can.
All right. Thanks, Maria.
Thank you,
Thank
Maria.
you.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
That I feel a little overwhelmed, but super educated.
Very educated.
I think one of the first things that I have to do is thatch, because I've never done it before, at least in the 10 years, 12 years that I've lived in my house. And I have a feeling there's just a lot of stuff, because I mulch when I mow.
I do bag my grass.
Okay.
I have a special spot in the back corner where I just put my pile at. But as far as the depth goes, I definitely probably don't adhere to that either.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to just measure, like, am I cutting it too short or am I cutting it too long?
So I usually do it because I have an electric mower, and I do it because it does bog down at a certain point. So I can't just go plow through it because it will just load up.
Yep.
And then I'm like, okay, cool.
I think, one, killing my whole lawn, while it is attractive to just wipe it out and start fresh, it would just be really ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my whole family would not want to hang out outside at all. And so I just don't think that's an option for me. I think I'd rather take the longer approach.
Yeah.
What about you?
So I'm half tempted, full honesty, to do the whole
Kill it.
Kill it.
Start fresh.
few reasons. The clover, obviously, that's something I'm concerned about. The option to till the yard.
Yeah.
I have a very, very lumpy backyard, and it bothers me quite a bit. Always been like that. So, I mean, I'll probably mull it around a little bit, but if anything, I may just do like the clover section.
Yeah.
And just see that, and then I can compare it against the rest of the yard, and not have to be like putting, a huge amount of effort.
Yeah.
For that extended period of time.
Let's get to it.
All right.
Step 1, thatch and weed and feed. Here we go. All right, so we got some great information from Maria, and here we are in my dandelion patch of a front yard. It was a little overwhelming, but I think we got a game plan.
I agree, but so from the start, she said we should dethatch. So here we are. We got a nice big old dethatcher
Or power rake,
or power rake.
as they call it. We rented this. It was $100 for the day. So we want to be clear about how much all this is costing.
And the next step, we'll do the weed and feed.
So this is Scott's. We have a Scott's spreader, which is nice because it just tells us on the back of the bag what to set the spreader to.
And so once we are done with that, it's going to be about a month, and then we'll come back in and we'll sow your
We'll
lawn
overseed.
overseed it with that X seed.
So we picked two different ones. So Travis is going to use this Quick and Thick at his place, and then I'm going to use this Select Lawn seed mixture that was proprietary for North 40. So let's see if there's any difference.
Yeah,
That would be a good challenge to see
nice
if
compare,
there's.
contrast, see
Does it grow faster?
the look.
Does it look better?
Will be kind of cool to get a good perspective on, because this is probably proprietary for the northern region where we all live at.
Run this thing, which we've never run before. So we set the depth, and then we have to rake up all the dead grass that it pulls up. It's keeping the nutrients from getting down, the water, keeping the sun from getting down there. So this is gonna pick all that up, and we rake it up and chuck it. Better conditions for weeds than grass.
Perfect.
So,
Sweet.
all right, let's get to it. Jinx! All right, so we dethatched,
We raked,
we spread weed and feed.
and now we wait.
So it's the beginning of May right now when we're shooting this. We're gonna wait till the beginning of June. Overseed.
Overseed, we're going to use our special ones that we picked per house,
Yep.
and we'll give a good comparison between the two as far as looks, probably durability.
Yep.
We all have kids and everybody that walks around on it, so
Hopefully by the time we get to that point, most of these dandelion forests are dead. About a month later, we're gonna put some ironite down. That was Maria's suggestion. And then we'll come back end of the fall, do one more weed and feed, cut it short, and hopefully we'll see a big difference next year. And we'll kind of show you the progress. And anything that we use today, except for the Thatcher that we rented, like we told you, everything else you can buy at North 40. And so you can click the Shop to Fix button at the bottom of the page and buy everything, see all the prices, and you can get all the stuff that we use there.
And until then, like, share, and subscribe.